I began my freelancing journey at 18 years old, I made $2,000 a month that year. 4 years later, when I was 22, I was making upwards of $20,000 a month. What changed? We're gonna break it down in this very video. I'm gonna take you through my first 5 years of trading, from 18 to 23, and how my income changed, and also the types of clients that I worked with changed. Without further ado, we break down how I went from $2,000 a month to upwards of $20,000 a month in my first 5 years of trading. The video is going to revolve around the idea of transitioning from a generalist, aka just a video editor offering video editing services, to a specialist offering a package and an offer with real social proof and substance to you as a person and overall the offering that you put together. In my first ever year of trading, which was 2017, I filed about $24,000 of taxes that year. So I made about 2 G's. 5 years later, I was making over $20,000 a month. This video is going to break down the key differences that happened from year 1 to year 5. Let's start at the beginning. I was a generalist when I started out, and most of you guys will start out as a generalist. Now, what does that mean? Everybody starts out as a side hustler, a generalist, doing this because it's their passion, and eventually they turn it into a full-time thing, and they start to make some profit from the passion, which some people never get to. But what did this look like for me being a generalist? I was shooting music videos throughout the week. I was shooting nightclubs on the weekend. I'd string together a promo video here and there to go shoot a car dealership or a gym, and I'd also be in the house remote video editing on Upwork.com. I made 6 figures plus on Upwork.com. I was editing for YouTubers. I was doing random promo stuff for brands. I was doing even funny stuff like me being the talking head of people's ads. And I was very much so the video guy in the area where I grew up in. Now, this was a good thing and a bad thing to a certain extent. When I was in this kind of stage of my life, there were some pros. The pros were a lot of variety to my projects. I wasn't bored. I was jumping around a lot, and I was getting a lot of experience. So definitely some good pros. But the cons were probably overweighing the pros in this early stage. I was definitely more of a struggle artist. The cons were low pay, lack of consistency in clients, and a lot of work. I was working pretty damn hard for that $2,000 a month. In fact, it's funny where I've had projects that I've completed in a single day before that have netted me $2,000, and I used to work an entire month for that. So that's like the nitty and gritty of what it comes down to, is when you're a generalist in the early stages, you're a commodity, and it's really low tier clients that are willing to work with you, right? Like, shout out to all those rappers that I shot music videos for back in the day. You guys were low tier clients, so I'll be honest with you, right? Throw me 150 quid, 200 quid to come shoot a music video, you ain't getting rich. You're not going to build a $20,000 a month income doing that. How many of them would you have to do? 100, right? And during this phase, I never made it past $3,000 a month. I was younger at the time, 18, 19, so comparatively, inflation hadn't hit as much back then. I still felt like I was making good money. I was making better money than someone else who was working a job or whatever, right, that I went to school with, but comparatively, it was peanuts, right? It was fuck all. So key things to take away here is diverse skills and ability to handle a wide range of projects can get your foot in the video production industry door, and it's probably good to build up that experience because it gives you transferable skills to other areas of video production. But ultimately, if we look at the cons, you do have a ceiling to your earning potential. There's only so much you can do at that kind of lower tier commodity level. So let's move it to being a specialist. We're warming up now. If we're talking about being a specialist, the way to really command higher rates is to specialize. Being a generalist equals a commodity. Specialist equals you're the undeniable fit for that job. So that was my major next step. I want to make it past the 2-3K a month. How do I do that? Well, I actually had to audit myself, and I had to sit down and think, what job am I an undeniable fit for? AKA, if a client gets on a call with me or has a look at the social proof of the projects I've linked, am I an undeniable fit for the job? In some areas, no. In some areas, yes. The area I was an undeniable fit for was YouTubers. I, Jack Cole, have been grinding YouTube since I was a kid. I've loved it, right? I had a big gaming channel when I was younger. Then I started building my YouTube channel based around tutorials and teaching people how to make money making videos, the stuff I was doing. I've been kind of like a lifelong YouTuber. So I have a lot of first-hand experience. I'm actually an undeniable hire for somebody who wants to scale a YouTube channel. This part of the video is very much so you auditing yourself and saying, you, Jason, yeah, you, I know someone watching my videos called Jason, you need to find out, what are you an undeniable hire for? What are you a perfect fit for? For me, it was being a YouTube video editor because I had that social proof there. I had the case study of my YouTube channel and me, and this was my first experience of long-term recurring clients. All of a sudden, I wasn't running around the southwest of England, down to the countryside, doing dozens of projects a month, project hopping, making my couple G's a month. Now, I had a couple YouTubers who were paying my bills. My retainers made up my base level income. Then, we're still doing a bit of project hopping, to be honest with you, but I'm doing bigger stuff, more around the content creation space. So I was starting to edit courses for bigger creators on Udemy because they could see that I already built educational info product content on my YouTube channel, and I was an undeniable hire to start editing that course content as well. And I was bringing in thousands of dollars on top, doing project hopping, even though it was longer term project hopping. I was able to have consistent work because they were consistently making courses. Fantastic. And ultimately now we start pushing $5,000 plus a month. Incredible. I am actually having a 2-part system where I've become more of a specialist. I've started to capitalize on the area of the market that I'm actually an undeniable fit for. But on top of that, I'm also still using a bit of balance where I've got my long-term recurring retainer clients, my YouTubers, and then I've got a bit of project hopping. I was still doing nightclubs every single weekend, right? So I'm still getting some cash from that. I was doing the courses, which I was a good fit for, and I'd pretty much stopped doing the rappers, and I'd stopped doing the business promo videos, and I'd stopped doing the kind of other fringe random stuff. So pros of the specialist phase before we move into scaling, because scaling is where it gets fun. That's how we end up doing $20,000 plus a month. I'm now doing $5,000 a month as a specialist. Great. What are the pros? Consistency. I have consistency in my income now. I'm not working as hard in terms of, I don't feel as though I'm being pulled in 100 different directions. And also, I'm building momentum in a niche, and I'm starting to get recommended now. I'm specializing in my YouTube videos, so a YouTuber can have a very good experience working with me and push me to another YouTuber. Or, and this happened, they would start another channel, or they'd have another service that they needed on top of that, whether it be thumbnails or voiceovers or other activations that we could increase the package. Cons, I was working on the same videos over and over and over again, and believe me, it was starting to get boring, right? Like, I'd have clients that I'd work with for 13 months, and by the 12th, 13th month, you're a year in, you've been editing the same videos, it does get boring. So, to counteract the boringness, I still did my nightclubs. So I'd still be doing the one-off project hopping in the weekend. It got me out of the office. I'd be shooting nightclubs. Awesome. That was a little bit of variety in where I was, basically. Now, real quick, just to pause the video and just review what we've talked about and relate it to my private members community, Video Production Plus, you might actually be thinking, listen, making $20,000 a month as a video editor is flat out impossible. You maybe now are making $2,000 a month, and you're thinking, Jack, that's a 10x from where I am right now. That's too crazy. Because of this, you're getting disheartened, and you think, is it worth it, right? If I can't make more than a couple G's a month, is freelancing even worth it? Do I go work at a media company? Do I quit and go get a job at Tesco? Probably not, because 17-year-old Ja, who joined our VP Plus community, was also making $2,000 a month until we joined VP Plus, and we helped him 4x his income to earning over $8,000 a month at just 17 years old. One of our members, Rain, just yesterday added Ja in the chat and said, Ja, were you already making good money before VP Plus? Because Ja's been killing it in the wins channel. Every day posting wins, every day posting wins. Ja said this, he said, listen, I was making like 3K max a month. Now I do over $8,000 a month. So that's just a little insight into one of the success stories in VP Plus. I do highly encourage you to join us. It's very cheap, right? $35 a month, right? You can't really lose. You could at least join for a month, give it a try. It's not going to break the bank. Basically a takeaway, and I encourage you to join. But on with the video. Let's go ahead and talk about scaling and making lots of cash. If we want to make a lot of cash, we got to scale, right? So $5,000 a month, depending on where you live in the world, is really good money. If you live in Southeast Asia, you're killing the game. You're a high earner. Shout out to my boy Sayuja back in the day, who was crushing it. He's doing like $6,000 a month in India. He was balling out of control, right? In fact, I haven't been able to get in contact with him. He might still be partying right now with all that money. Who knows? So if you're in one of these places, great. If you're in the US, the UK, 5K a month is sure, not bad, 100%, but it ain't rich, right? You're not making crazy money. So how do we make a lot of cash and scale up? Well, I'll be completely honest with you. I'll be super honest with you right now. There's only so much cash you can make as a solopreneur. Unless you decide to move into the influencer space and start a digital product and start a coaching program, etc. You as a freelancer who's offering video editing and video production services, there is an absolute ceiling to how much you can make, and it's actually around $5,000 to $10,000 a month. At that point, the hours that you have in the day compared to the content that you can create and the retainers that you can kind of land, the math starts to get ahead of you, and you could actually decide to work all day long every single day, and that would probably lead to burnout. Or you're probably going to be honest with yourself and say, I need to build a team. Let's talk about building a team for you. I built a team. It's been one of the things that's enabled me to make $20,000 plus a month because I have a team. I couldn't do it flat out. But building a team to outsource to people is going to be crucial if you want to hit big boy numbers. My move was an agency model coupled with specialization. Once I finally built a team and specialized in a certain niche, I was able to handle the output needed to hit those significant milestones. That's really it, right? If you've got demand, all you need is the team to handle more demand, and you're essentially cloning your day. I, Jack Cole, if I can make $5,000 a month, I can make $10,000 if I clone another me, and I get a whole nother 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, etc. Awesome, fantastic. So that's the core principle, right? The year was 2021, and the crypto market was absolutely blowing up. I was 22, 23 in this year, and projects were launching nonstop daily. This was almost a tension market or a sub niche that just popped up and started booming. There's a lot of money going around here, and I learned some good lessons. I'm going to break it down to you. So the Jack Cole brand in 2021 had been built up over the course of years of me being a public video producer, right? I was a videographer, I was a video editor, and I'd done a pretty good job of documenting the track record and the social proof, aka the big clients I'd worked with and the big success stories I'd had. I used my positioning and my credibility to land clients in the Web3 space. And I'm going to break down one of the key lessons that I learned in this period of time. And this is the thing I was alluding to at the start of the video that might change your perspective on what clients to target. Because funny enough, the Web3 stuff is kicking off again right now. with Bitcoin at all-time high, but you can apply these same principles to anybody who is in a money market or who's dealing with a company budget and it's not their personal cash. So I wanted to scale. I hired a team off Upwork.com. This was before I had VP+. If it was today, I would have hired them exclusively from VP+. In fact, everybody on my team today are from VP+. 100%. We only hired VP+. But back in the day, I used Upwork.com. So for you could go on Upwork.com and piece together an international team and be off to the races. But I started working with Web3 startups, and this taught me a very, very valuable lesson. This is how I was making $20,000 plus a month. Here's the valuable lesson I learned. When you're dealing with an individual, you're dealing with their personal money. They're always going to bargain. They're always going to want to get a good deal because it's out of their own pocket. If I go to a rapper and I was trying to negotiate a music video deal, they didn't have much money, so it was tough to get budget out of them. And even on a certain level, going to YouTubers, they wanted to maximize their YouTube revenue, so again, they were penny pinching a little bit. And also, if you're starting to outsource work to a team, you actually need significant margin there to make a nice profit for yourself and pay your freelancers well. Because the thing that happens when you start building a team is you're only as good as your talent. AKA, if I have a bunch of, for lack of a better word, shit munchers below me who are missing deadlines and ultimately just poor low quality talent because I'm trying to pay them peanuts and maximize all the revenue for me, it's going to cause more headaches down the road. They're going to miss deadlines. The quality's not going to be quite correct. You're going to basically spend so much time sending revisions that you're going to think to yourself, why didn't I just edit the video? And it's so much better to just pay a larger piece of the pie to your freelancers and then AKA buy better quality talent. So that is even more incentive to land big retainers. So there's a good piece of the pie there to outsource to your freelancers below you. But the major thing that I learned working with Web3 companies, because to be quite frank with you, they have so much cash. They'd all just done 7-figure raises, venture capital raises, and they were taking their 7 figures, upwards sometimes of 8 figures of venture capital money that they just raised from VCs, and they were investing it into marketing, into production, into creative endeavors, and it wasn't their personal money. So the way that I felt in these negotiations with Web3 companies was something I haven't felt before that moment, because they're spending a company budget. So they'll allocate significant capital to a campaign because, to a certain extent, it's not out of their own budget, and they've just raised shitloads of cash. So targeting clients with money, these days, my agency, Content Assembly Group, shout out to Tim, my business partner, we only target 7-figure entrepreneurs because they've got cash. And what are they trying to solve? The main problem they're trying to solve is time. So the only thing they're really looking to do is hire the specialist over generalist again, who's solved X problem, who they can outsource the thinking to, and they know they're going to get an ROI. They know they're going to get a result because there's a track record there. There's a case study that we've already done it before. That's one pivotal thing that you'd be thinking about in the scaling stages is who are you actually targeting? One of the worst things that I see freelancers do is they get caught in the low tier, low paying gaming circuit, for example. They're targeting gamers who are making only money off advertising. They have no actual business and they are penny pinching a little bit. They don't want to pay the craziest rates. They're also, there's a lot of people competing for those jobs. It's pretty easy to get good budget out of somebody who's investing in content as a marketing vehicle. So Web3 companies were investing in content as a marketing vehicle. They're investing in explainer videos and promo content and in informative videos to spread the word about the product that they're building and the kind of problem and pain point they're trying to solve. And also my clients now are 7-figure entrepreneurs who are looking to build up an organic traffic source. So they might be spending $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month on cold ads, on paid ads, and they'd love to be able to use SEO and video content to start bringing in some free views because they're paying shitloads already for the cold traffic, for the paid views, and they want to build an organic traffic source. But, we've had some great clients over the years who've had masterminds that are worth, $5,000, $10,000 a month, etc. And they're able to pay good retainers because they know that it's only a few sales off of that content for them to make their money for the retainer back and then a significant profit on top. So it's usually easier to actually command a higher rate and a bigger retainer from clients that are promoting something or have an underlying bottom of funnel business. The content is top of funnel. It brings free eyeballs in and eventually they convert to a product somewhere down the road. This is undeniably something you want to think about, and client positioning and client structuring will play a huge role in scaling to these larger income milestones. So building a team and the type of clients that I targeted, those were the two most fundamental steps that I took to go from a $2,000, $3,000 a month income to a $20,000 plus a month income. In fact, I'll be honest, in the Web3 space, there was this one day that we had a project that needed something in such a short period of time. They needed it in such a tight deadline that I made $4,000 in 1 hour. That's my highest paid hour ever. I made $4,000 US in one single hour, and they're making millions of dollars a day in trade volume. So it's really an absolute micro fraction of the revenue they're bringing in to throw that cash cash to me to get that done in a short period of time. It was urgency, and that was my highest paid hour, $4,000 for an hour of work. Now, if we had to take away a couple things, the things we're taking away is becoming a specialist rather than a generalist, building up social proof to be able to command larger rates, building a team so you can handle, you guessed it, larger output of content, more deliverables, and then also just targeting clientele that have the money so they can actually afford to pay you. That's the summary of my personal journey going from $2,000 a month at 18 years old to 22, 23, making over $20,000 a month. Now I'm 25. I'm going to start my business channel later in the year. We'll break down my income in the future. But anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I do want to encourage you to get involved in Video Production Plus, VP Plus, my private members community. Undeniable value in there. We talked about just 17-year-old killing it, absolutely crushing it. We've got so many success stories coming out of VP Plus. Just load up our website down below and just read all the testimonials and case studies. Just do that. You don't even have to buy. Just load up the website, read the case studies, and tell me what you think about that. And anyways, I'll jump off your screen. I'm going to promote this video right here. In 3, 2, 1, I'm going to start playing this video. You better click it. If you click it, you're going to continue the value. If you've watched until now, you got two options. Sign up to VP Plus or click this video right here. See you there.